Thank you guys for coming to the Nerdist School stage at Nothing Comics. You are watching the historical roast. Now please make some noise for your hosts, Eddie, Furth, and Ryan Pigg!
Hello guys, welcome to Historical Roast, guys. It is Saturday night, January 31st. I lost my microphone. It is Saturday night, January 31st, and on this night in history, we're roasting Benjamin Franklin.
We don't need mics.
Why would you need a mic?
Yeah, exactly.
How's it going? So, we have a great lineup for you guys tonight, actually. We've got Kyle Clark here, Adam Murray, Eva Mainard, we've got Monique Madrid, and a friend of mine, Pedro Salinas.
All right.
So, round of applause, how many of you guys have been here before? And who's brand new? Who's never been here?
Yeah!
Nice, welcome. Brian, why don't you tell you guys a little bit about Historical Roast?
In case you guys don't know, Historical Roast is where we bring historical figures to the stage to be roasted by comedians, and it's hilarious. And there's always a guest historical figure roaster.
Ooh.
So it's a lot of mystery.
I can't wait for tonight.
It's adventurous.
We really only had one rule when picking out historical figures. The only rule was they had to be dead.
Right.
So if you want to be roasted, you have to die first, and then do something important later.
Give to society. Last time we had John F. Kennedy.
President JFK was here.
And before that, it was Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. So this guy, you guys needed a break from all the shot in the head jokes, so you guys are laughing a little bit too hard at that. I feel like we really owned it.
We were done with assassinated people.
Yeah. But you know, when we started this, I had no idea how much research I'd be doing about history.
It's ridiculous.
I went to school for 7 years, and I don't think I've ever done this much research on history.
It's like doing a fucking book report.
Right. Well, I would cheat in history class all the time.
Really?
But the one time I helped someone else out, I got detention for it.
So you helped somebody else cheat, and that's when you got caught.
She was really hot though. So do you think she was the one?
She might have been. If she gives you history.
If you're out there, if you're listening or watching to this, hot girl, I don't remember your name. Please contact me.
You don't even remember her name? You cheated off of her, or she cheated off of you? Which was it?
She cheated off me.
I cheated off of Jason Funt in biology. It's a true story. But wait a minute. I cheated off of Jason in biology class. He is now he researches DNA that is going to save the world. At least when I cheat off of geniuses, man.
Well.
You didn't even remember her name. It is though, it's like doing a book report, but I end up just watching a lot of movies instead. I'll watch a documentary before I'll read a book about Ben Franklin.
Well, I wanted to dive into Ben Franklin, so I started reading his autobiography.
How long was it?
It was too long. It was really long, so I switched over to Sons of Liberty on History Channel.
You guys watch that?
It's really cool. Kind of. In the beginning, it's really cool because it's like Sam Adams is drunk as shit. He's like, ah, and they're like, we're coming to arrest you, the British. And he's like, ah, and Aladdin escapes out of there. He does crazy moves, and then there's a huge riot, and one thing leads to another, and they're pissing on King George's face. The painting.
What do you mean one thing leads to another?
The painting. It was. You'd have to see it. And Hans Zimmer did the music, guys. It's incredible. It should be called The Sons of Anarchy.
I would rather just watch Ryan reenact Sons of Liberty than watch the show.
It's a lot of. Well, then it got boring and long after that part, so I just Googled him.
Instead.
Yes, instead. And he was pretty smart. Did you know that?
I heard that rumor.
Well, I know.
All bald men are smart.
He taught himself Spanish. Is that right?
Yeah. We had so much brain, we didn't have enough room left for hair.
I have to believe you because you're bald.
You
must know. No, he learned 4 different languages, taught himself 4 different languages, taught himself how to do instruments, invented a shitload of stuff.
Yeah.
But he was terrible at math.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, are you really that surprised that one of the founding fathers of the United States was bad at math? No. Thank you. That was, I didn't know the answer. That was really great.
Apparently, survey says they are not surprised.
I kind of didn't the answer, but thank you for verifying. Oh, Hank from Breaking Bad was Benjamin Franklin. Sons of Liberty.
Agent, especially Agent Hank Schrader.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
a good Ben Franklin?
He's pretty good. He hits on the women.
That's all you need to do. I like. Did you guys see John Adams on HBO, the miniseries? You got one, that's cool. Yeah. I thought that was it had Paul Giamatti as John Adams and Tom Wilkinson played Ben Franklin. I thought honestly, whatever Ben Franklin actually did, Tom Wilkinson should have been him instead. You should replace him in like all pictures and shit with just Tom Wilkinson.
I'd watch it.
So with all the studying that we've done now, tell me something you learned about Ben Franklin, sir.
Well, the math is one.
Math is one.
Do you have any facts?
Here's what I found interesting. That Ben Franklin is the inventor of the lightning rod. Ben Franklin invented the lightning rod. I mean, first and foremost, the idea of that to me is a little bit bullshit because Ben Franklin didn't invent the lightning rod. He just was the first lightning rod. You know what I mean? That doesn't really count. That's like the first guy who got hit by a car didn't invent safety. He just realized he should fucking look both ways.
Good poster child. Be careful, kids.
But seriously, back in the day, lightning was a real fucking pain in the ass. I didn't realize that just 200 years ago, lightning was a real fucking bitch. Like, it was a problem. Like, people wandered around constantly fucking worried about lightning. Like, this sounds silly, but before Ben Franklin invented the lightning rod, like, lightning was hitting houses and they would catch on fire constantly. And they actually believed at this time that lightning was a pure sign of God. It was religion, it was spirituality. Like, it's so much so that if, like, a lightning bolt hit a house, and it caught on fire, and the adjoining houses caught on fire, they would extinguish the other two fires, but the one that got hit by lightning, they would let it burn, because they were like, no, God chose that house with lightning. That's 200 years ago. And then Ben Franklin came along and just basically did away with God. He was just like, no, it's just fucking lightning. Put a stick on it. There, good. Now you're fine.
I don't know, maybe God was being like, this is an obstacle, figure it out. Ben won.
What if he didn't prove, like, what if it wasn't scientific? What if he really did, like, piss off gods somewhere? The gods were like, damn that Ben Franklin, we were trying to hit that house with lightning, and again with the fucking lightning rod.
I guess we'll have tornadoes now.
I don't know.
I don't know science.
What else did you learn about him, sir?
He always hit on the ladies, and the ladies loved him. He wasn't that attractive, but ladies, like, he was balding, had long hair. He was the Ron Jeremy of the Furth Founding Fathers. Okay, I'll pick someone later.
I respect him for that though, because if you think, like, Ben Franklin's one of the first bald dudes to get laid and, like, you know, made it easy for the rest of us. You know?
Wait, he was one of the first bald.
No other bald people got laid before.
Where do you find your information for that?
He's like the founding father of the bald brotherhood.
Oh, I see. So, like, of bald guys that get it on.
He represented us very, very well. I just believe that, like, he was, like, that's obviously where the lightning hit, though, right? Like, that's all that is.
He's like, I can't go back, so.
Who do you think got more? Can I say pussy? Who do you guys think got more pussy? Ben Franklin, JFK, or Bill Clinton? JFK? I mean, JFK, you know, didn't have the longevity that the other two did.
I mean, sex was a bigger deal back then, though. As it gets later on, people were like, sex, I don't care.
I think it's time to bring him out, Ryan. Do you guys want to see it?
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the face of the $100 bill. Let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Benjamin Franklin.
He's in the house. Let's do this! Oh my God. He is. All right. We're gonna ask you a couple questions. Are you able to answer?
I think I can use that thing.
That's great. Excellent. So first question. Yeah. Out of all your inventions, which one do you like the most, or which one do you think you would have liked to invent?
Let's see, I'd say it's probably a tie between the Franklin stove and the motherfucking shocker! Which I invented!
I'm gonna think about.
I tied a key to a kite.
Yeah.
I let it sail into the sky on a rainy night, and then I left it alone when it did butt snap.
I did not know that. That's not in your
From your intro, I've learned you guys know very little about me.
So you're just gonna fuck with us the rest of the show.
Yeah,
right?
that's the plan.
Excellent. I'm very excited.
That's wonderful. Butt stuff, Ben Franklin. Mr. Franklin, actually tomorrow, I don't know if you know this, tomorrow is actually one of our nation's most favorite pastimes and biggest national holidays, if you will. Tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday.
And what's that?
Super Bowl Sunday. It's a wonderful game where a bunch of guys hit each other, and then at halftime somebody sings, but mostly we pay attention to the commercials and eat too much.
Oh, good, I'm glad. You know we invented democracy, right?
So tomorrow we have the New England Patriots facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. And we want to know, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl tomorrow?
I mean, I imagine the Patriots, but that's just because clearly I have a partial attachment to that division.
So we got the New England Patriots because who doesn't love a cheater?
Historical Roast does not support anything Eddie says.
Good call.
Yeah!
So here at Historical Roast, we'll do political humor about people getting shot in the head, but footballs, oh my god.
Off limits.
Because who wants to offend somebody with a football joke?
You
We might have somebody from
about
Cleveland.
man.
God help us if there's like a Bears fan here.
Woo!
God help us.
I've been dead for a while, and I still know that's a bad call.
All right, we got your final question. Then you can chill out. Are you happy or honored that your face is on the $100 bill?
Yeah, I'd say it's a very real honor to show that the highest form of currency in this country is for someone who did not hold political office and instead spent most of his political career fucking yeah!
I have to believe it because I didn't look up that much stuff. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, Ben Franklin. He's going to take a seat.
Where am I sitting?
Oh, yeah, anywhere. I did that. Ladies and gentlemen, our first comedian coming to the stage. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
You're about to be
do it.
roasted. Alright.
Bring on the flames, bro.
Our first comedian is the host of The Shit Show and The Last Book
Awesome.
Review.
I'm just heckling you.
I'm okay with that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mainard!
So much. What's up, Ben? So good to see you again, man. You know what I mean, Ben? We just like roll a joint and you're like, all right.
Girl, that's my girl.
Finding bad things about you have been so hard, man. You are so awesome. Like
It's true.
you are like the Seth Rogen of our generation, just super chill. You know what I mean? All this
You both
weird.
hate Koreans.
Hey, you know what I mean? Me too. I don't know why I said that. Is it the Maui talking? Yes. Flying high? More like surfing high. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Ben, you had like a really cool social group. Junio to join, where Ben and a diverse group of 12 different men would join every Friday and have a beer. So Ben Franklin, inventor of TGI Fridays, you guys. Thanks for those great baked potato nachos, Ben. Okay, just me. That's fine. It's fine. There's free beer in the back, and there's probably some free weed, so get on board. Tonight we're here, though, to roast the Honorable Benjamin Franklin. I just want to say, again, thank you so much for being so rad and doing so much for women. You know, Silence Do Good, those essays. Do you guys know about Silence Do Good? Yeah. Man, those essays were so cool, like just a huge step forward in feminism. I want to thank you for that, you know, publishing them anonymously and then telling that younger kid to like fuck older women because they don't have feelings and can't get pregnant. Again, just thank you for caring about women. Huge step. So thank you again. Also, thank you again for telling the younger kid not to fuck all the younger women so you can crush that puss by yourself. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Ben Franklin, though, we gotta get into it. You look like a pumpkin with a mullet. Okay, cool. Everybody knows Ben Franklin had an illegitimate son, but it's weird because it looks like he's about to have twins. So good. Ben Franklin is known as our founding father because he is legitimately all of our ancestors' illegitimate father. Okay, he fucked all of our ancestors' moms. Okay. What's up, new dad? Okay. Franklin, you often lamented that you were born too soon and that your mind could have been used better in the future. Okay, I'm sure it was the mind you were thinking of. Okay, we've all seen the oil paintings of your wife. Woof. Am I right? You probably think about that dick. Things better in the future. I mean, talk about brownback special. Okay, your wife looks like Jabba the Hutt.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, fat slug. Real fat slug, you know what I mean? Talk about a snail trail on that one. Hey, okay. Hey, what's the difference between Ben Franklin's wife and a sea cow? Nothing! Ben's fucked them both! Ben Franklin, you smell like tartar sauce. Ben, you are known for inventing so many things. However, the most lasting thing you invented was herpes.
You're welcome.
Ben, you have so many STDs, you make my ex look like a virgin. Okay, that's a double burn. I honestly can't see the audience. I would feel terrible if they're here. Ben Franklin. Did you guys know that Ben Franklin was a good swimmer?
Yeah.
One guy knew. He swam all the time. Ben, tell him about how much you swam.
All the
All the
time.
time. Ben was such a good swimmer that he thought about building a pool until he realized you can't fuck fish.
But I tried.
Hey, I know you tried. Hey Ben, what's the difference between senators and Ben Franklin? Nothing. They both have out-of-marriage affairs, illegitimate children, and have gotten away with killing dozens of people. These rich white people. Ben, what's up with all those human remains they found on your property in London?
My bad.
Hey, you guys probably didn't know because you didn't have to research Ben Franklin. Seriously though, 10 people were found. 10 people's remains were found on your property.
That means there's 5 still to go.
Good one, Ben. That's why I like you so much. I don't have much else to say. I should have ended with tartar sauce. Those of you who also don't know Ben, he's just such a cool dude. He was the owner of, this isn't really a good one, but I'll say it anyway. He was the owner of so many newspapers and printing presses. Ben Franklin was the original Viacom, you guys. I'm gonna let that one's good because like Viacom controls all of our media, and then we think what they want us to think. So Ben, what's up with that mind manipulation? Okay.
Did you just end on a joke about how rich I am?
Yeah. Hey, Ben Franklin was the richest man in Philadelphia. Okay, the richest man in Philadelphia. Also the only man in Philadelphia. So good. So good. Really, that's about it. Unless you want to chit chat, that's about all the riffs I have. I have some really mean things to say about your wife, but I can tell that. Okay, Ben Franklin's wife was only 15 when they got married. 15. But Ben, what's up? She wouldn't even marry you at first. Did you guys know about this? Ben Franklin was such a loser that a 15-year-old girl said, nah, okay. A 15-year-old girl said she would not marry the richest man in Philadelphia. Okay, I have to go on the light. My self-esteem was pretty high and then it dropped. So thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, ever Mainard. How you doing, son?
Doing great.
Wonderful,
They
wonderful.
all had good.
You know, Ben Franklin, you're known as like the very first Renaissance man. You know, somebody who kind of dabbled in everything and did a lot of different things, like the original ADD.
Yeah.
Just it was permissible. So. You know, I find that interesting that you get to do so many. Like you were first you were a printer. You know, you ran newspapers, and then you became a scientist, and then a politician. Like, it's really interesting that you get a chance to do so many different things. It's like as an actor or comedian, when everybody tells me, like, you know, at a party, I'm like, oh, that's what I do. And they're like, oh, yeah, I did that back in the day. I tried that a few times.
Eddie, the difference is I make money off of it.
It's true. That is true. Wow. Did you guys turn on me or Ben? I can't really tell what that
Is your
was.
mom here?
No, she didn't come. She was busy tonight. Oh, guys, are you ready for your next comedian? Follow this guy on Twitter at Salinas_Pedro. Spoiler alert, it's Pedro Salinas.
Hey, thank you, Andy. Hey, man, what's up, man? How are you? Hey, thanks for having me on this. This is an honor, man.
Glad to have you.
Thank you, guys. It's kind of hard to roast you, man. You're such a cool guy, and I don't know how to put this on here. We'll figure something out. All right, that's fine.
Only I had invented the podium.
I know, right? God, that'd be a huge help right now. Maybe I can move this aside. Oh, okay, it's all falling apart. I don't respect you, Ben. I don't respect you at all. I think you're fat and ugly. All right. All right. I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so
Fuck yeah!
yeah, fuck yeah, dude. So I knew, I heard your name a lot growing up, but I didn't really know anything about you because you're just like a cartoon character to me, basically. You're just like a guy. You're the way you look. You're like on a $100 bill, So most of the time, I just saw you being thrown onto like strippers' butts and rap videos. Then there's a bridge between Camden and Philly called the Ben Franklin Bridge, which a lot of people I know got their first DUIs on that bridge. That was my experience with you. But it was cool to research you for this because you're you're an awesome guy. You really you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. That you're like the first guy who ever did that. And also you own slaves, so you're like an ideal Republican candidate. It's pretty cool. I love you. You actually have a better track record on slavery than a lot of the founding fathers. You were an abolitionist near the end of your life, but then even as early as 1751, you said, you wrote, and I'll quote you right now, the introduction of slaves diminishes a nation. Give it up for that, everybody. That's cool. You said that because, quote, the whites who have slaves not laboring are enfeebled, and white children become proud, disgusted with labor. Thank you for thinking of the white children, first of all. That's really nice of you. Basically, you said that slavery is bad because it makes slave owners lazy. Which is so racist, even Paul Ryan would think twice before posting as a YouTube comment after a Lil Wayne video. Paul Ryan he's cool.
I have no idea what YouTube is.
Yeah. I think you would like it. Yeah, but in a lot of ways you were the first American in the sense that you're obese and materialistic, I think you really would like YouTube if you were around now and alive, because you really, when print came out, you really took advantage of it, right? You were one of the first people who really adopted it as a model for spreading information, you were the Poor Richard's Almanac, which was this, these series of tracts where he would give people advice on how to get rich, basically. So basically, you're like one of those people that post inspirational quotes on Facebook, and if I was friends with you, I would unfollow you. Unless you were a hot girl, in which case I would like that shit immediately. You invented a lot of stuff, man. It's pretty cool. You invented the Franklin stove. You discovered electricity. You invented this weird hand fin thing because you were a swimmer, right? So people have swimming paddles. You invented a thing for the hands too. You invented the flexible catheter. Not a lot of people know that. That's pretty fun.
Just a fact, guys.
Yeah, that's really, I have nothing. That's a good invention. It's good for people who have kidney stones, It's very nice of you to do that. You didn't invent hair plugs, which is weird. I feel like you could have fixed it pretty easily. You have a weird bald mullet. I don't know how that works. It's rapist in the front and then also rapist in the back. It's a lot of rapist. But yeah, I do feel bad. I felt bad not knowing that much about you starting out because, I grew up, right outside of Philadelphia. I felt like I should have known more. And you did a lot for the city of Philadelphia. You basically invented the public library system there. You invented the police patrol. You helped found Penn University, which is weird because now Philadelphia is the most illiterate city ever. If you were around in Philadelphia today, they would call you gay slurs and then throw car batteries at you. It wouldn't be popular. a great family, man. I gotta say that. You had people mention your religion, so you had an illegitimate son and an illegitimate grandson, which that's very Philly. So you did do that. And then you weren't a great husband too. You know, you at one point, right after you married your wife, you wrote a tract called "Rules and Maxims for Promoting Matrimonial Happiness," in which you suggested that women should deny themselves the trivial satisfaction of having their own will, and then you asserted that a woman's power has no other foundation than her husband's esteem and love. Which I know that like women weren't technically people back then when you were around, but you're a pig, man. No wonder your wife fucked every single other founding father. Just, I don't know if you guys knew that. She fucked every single other founding father. She loved it, man. She came every time. It was great. Because you were never around, man. You were never around for her, you know. You spent most of the American Revolution in France trying to fuck women 40 years younger than you. So in that way, you were like the first Hollywood producer, which is pretty cool. You invented that model. And then one of your sons died of smallpox, which that's very sad. And it wasn't your fault, though. I bet it felt that way when it happened. That's that sucks a lot for a parent. You were going to take him to get vaccinated against smallpox before it happened. But then other stuff came up and you did it. And I believe it was Benjamin Franklin who once said, never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. So I'm not going to follow their own advice. All right, well, that's all I want to insult you about. So thank you so much for
That was great. Thank you so much. Being here, Mr. Franklin, again. I really appreciate it. Are you okay with being roasted all this?
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Roasting gonna start at some point?
At the level. You know, not a lot of things were named after you, now that I think about it, because Washington has a state.
Yeah.
And, you know, the capital of the U.S.
Yeah.
Even John Adams has a high school on Boy Meets World.
You know that's because he played, the principal played John Adams in 1776.
That is why they did that. I forgot about that.
Fucking
God, you're a bigger Boy Meets World fan than I am.
True.
That's incredible. I mean, you got...
Poor Richard, poor Corey.
But hey, you got a turtle on PBS named after you,
Yeah,
so that's fine. I had a turtle named Franklin myself, only pet to run away.
Huh?
Yeah, go figure.
She was happy for a long time then.
Please, you'll have your chance. Ladies and gentlemen, the next comedian comes to stage, hosts 2 girls, 1 pup. Another being Hell County, Florida. You can find out more information on our Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, Monique Madrid!
Thank you. I want to say first off, thank you so much for having me here. I am very honored to be performing next door to one of the best comedy institutions. It's really great to be this close to something so great. So, I also want to thank Eddie Furth and Ryan Pigg. I'm not going to make fun of them because I'm really grateful that they brought me on the show, and plus they're just a really nice couple, you know? I hope to someday find my soulmate like that as well, so. Benjamin Franklin.
Hey girl.
That fuck. You slept with hundreds of women. How? By the way, how's your wife doing? Doing all right? Doing all right? Yeah, Ben, as you guys know, was married to Miss Deborah Reed. And by married, I mean the same way that Tiger Woods was married. You dirty slut. According to extensive research by Dr. Wikipedia, you began writing at your brother's newspaper as a teenager. You'd go on to write columns under the female pen names such as Martha Careful, Polly Baker, and Silence Dogood, which we heard about earlier. The column was such a huge hit that everybody wanted to know who this Silence Dogood was. Well, tonight, I'm excited to say we will find out more about the woman that you had inside you, which is a great change of pace, because normally we find out about you being inside women. So, you continue to be a publisher and write your whole life running the Pennsylvania Gazette, which was the first ever newspaper to have have a sex advice column and to first ever publish a tabloid. So basically we have you to thank for Kim Kardashian. Fuck you. Let's see what else. At the age of 20, you started a young man's group dedicated to self-improvement, including a plan of 13 virtues to live by. Great. Virtues written by a 20-year-old. I'm sure it included such gems as bros before hoes, and if you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it. So. Pardon me if I'm not impressed. Apparently, you were the first person to come up with the insurance company, so on behalf of everyone, go fuck yourself.
My bad.
You also started the first fire department. Isn't that convenient? The first fire department and the first insurance company. So I guess we can assume that you were the first to invent insurance fraud by arson as well. I'm sure. I mean, you can't tell me you weren't a little bit tempted with a little sweet deal on the side. It didn't stop you with the ladies. I mean, seriously, that had to be tempting, right?
Oh.
That's like, inventing Bill Cosby and then also inventing roofies and the unsuspecting young man. I know that's a terrible analogy. I'm just not happy with Bill Cosby right now. You were also a scientist. In 1747, you were given your first experimental apparatus, which was a glass tube that was over 3 feet long, and it was as big around as a man's wrist, with instructions how to obtain electric sparks. But enough about your sex life. Shades of gray wigs. Then you invented the rocking chair, a device for grabbing things off high shelves, and a pulley system so that you could lock and unlock your bedroom from your bed. Jesus Christ, you were lazy. And there's like no Home Depot back then. You had to build everything from scratch. Oh man, just like Amanda worked so hard to not work. You also invented swim fins, bifocals, and perhaps most famously, the lightning rod, after you tied a string to a key and electrocuted yourself during a storm. Why God didn't strike you dead right then is one of history's greatest mysteries, as well as tragedies. By mid to late part of the century, you began frequently traveling to Europe, where you collected books, souvenirs, and STDs. According to the book, One Nation Under Sex, How Private Lives of Presidents, First Ladies and Their Lovers Changed the Course of American History, which I totally jerked off to, of course. You weren't just a womanizer. You weren't. You, as the ambassador of France, fucked your way into winning the French's support in the American Revolution, excuse me. Right? Shocking. A man gets to have sex and be called a hero while the women are just whores. Hashtag yes, all women. Impressively, Ben, you spoke 5 languages: English, Spanish, Italian, Latin, and French. Whore. Basically, you were the Rosetta Stones of dirtbags. Then you go beyond legend, beyond hero. You are an important historic figure, just like unlike anyone else. You've been on the $100 bill, the $50, the $50. Your ugly mug is even on the $1,000 Series EE savings bond. Yeah, we get it, you greedy fuck. Why not leave some for an actual president? Seriously, on the 100, don't you think that should go to Obama? I mean, come on. After all, the only people who call them Benjamins are black people. Sorry. I meant black people. You never even became president. You were never even what a loser, right? Who are you? Eugene V. Debs?
I like that joke.
Right? The guy who ran for president 5 times between 1920. He gets it. You were on the 100 and Abraham Lincoln's on the penny. Really? I mean, that guy freed the slaves. You wanted the turkey to be the national bird.
Yeah. Gobble, gobble.
Well, by the way, the reason that is because bald eagle is what he made the French whores call him in bed. That's true. And incidentally, the gobbler is what he calls his penis. Like many in your time, you were part of the Minutemen, but only in bed. You were considered a redcoat, but that's because you like to have sex with women while they were on their periods. You also supported the Boston Tea Party, but of course that's before you realized they weren't talking about that kind of teabagging. I mean, seriously, man, you were a horn dog. You even admitted in your autobiography to sleeping with tons of prostitutes, and you said it was a miracle that you never acquired any diseases. I think it's a miracle you could even find your dick, Tubby. Oh, that's why you invented the bifocals. That makes sense. Seriously, Benjamin Franklin is so fat, his belt declared independence from his pants. You're so fat that sitting on the Liberty Bell is what caused it to crash. Ben Franklin is so fat, Thomas Paine used to be named Thomas quite comfortable until you sat on it. You're so fat that the "Don't Tread on Me" slogan, that was about you. I'm scared. You're so fat, you're the original Philadelphia cheesesteak. You're so fat, you and your chin, they fought on opposite sides of the war. Seriously, Ben Franklin is so fucking fat, they're called Quakers because that's what happens when you walk by. Also, did you know that Benjamin Franklin is the first one to come up with the pro versus con list? Yeah, pro, Benjamin Franklin, pro, you are a founding father. Con, you suck. All right, enough giving you a hard time. You were a genius, a fighter of freedom, a legend, and a founding father who we have to thank for the very liberties that we share today. And learning about you, it's taught me a ton. And I would hope that if you were still alive today, that I'd be one of the whores that you would be. Because it's like you always said, nothing in life is certain except for death and taxes. And the fact that dirty old men will always run this country. Thank you, man.
Monique Madrid, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Ben, you're known as one of the founding fathers, and many call you the first American, which is awfully close to the first Avenger, and I think Disney's going to sue you. Better be careful. It's amazing, you know, you became at 35 the richest man in Philadelphia. At that time in your life, there were 20,000 people living in Philadelphia. Essentially, you became the richest man in a small southern city. Your prize is your cousin. You get to marry your cousin.
Did you finally do research out back during Monique's set?
Wikipedia. No, you know, you're known for so many things. You were an inventor. You invented the glass harmonica. Do you guys know that, the glass harmonica? Because until I actually researched it, I thought it was glass harmonica, and didn't realize later it was a completely useless musical instrument that was just like turning. It's interesting stuff, guys. Look it up. That's all I'm saying. And you know that the way that Ben Franklin made his money was the Pennsylvania Gazette, right? It was being a printer and publishing the Pennsylvania Gazette with your brother James. And the interesting thing about that is that you guys actually did all of the writing on it. You would write in letters to the editor under false names, sometimes having debates back and forth with yourself, Ben. Which is really the birth of unbiased journalism, if you ask me. So I thank you for that. But we have a very special guest for you, Ben. We have somebody, a friend of yours. I think you might know them. Let me know. Do you recognize this voice, Ben?
Fuck you!
Not ringing a bell.
It's not ringing a bell. Well, then I'd like to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to John Adams.
That John Adams.
First of all, who here knows why I'm important?
Second president of the United States.
Thank you, you kind Jew. When the country started, I don't need this, that devil stick. When the country started, they were like, hey, George Washington, that guy's great. Let's get someone like him. And everyone's like, yeah, let's pick John Adams. He's pretty great too. Am I on money? No. You know what I have? I have an HBO miniseries that only history teachers and one sad person here watch. This fucking guy ties a key to a kite string, and he gets put on the $100
tied a key to a kite string and lit up in a lightning storm. God, I wish you died. I get hard just thinking about it. But yeah, if you're 5, you believe that Ben Franklin discovered electricity. He also discovered swimming in a pool with his shirt on. Because you're fat. Because you're a fat gross pig. Why would anyone put you on money? You look like a penis wearing a Hulk Hogan wig. What the fuck? Who wants to see that on our currency? Jesus Christ. You're known for having a printing press, because why not? You know, everyone who has a printer in their house is famous. Did you use it to make signs and put on your picture that said, "Hey Ben, maybe 5 pies is enough for today"? Because you're gross. Because you're a gross, fat monster. Everyone hates you. You're known for a lot of famous quotes. One of them is, "A penny saved is a penny earned." Why the fuck are you famous? Jesus Christ! That's so dumb! You're a ladies' man, as everyone pointed out here tonight. I'm really amazed that being a bald, fat, obsessive-compulsive lunatic didn't really catch on sexually in the modern era, as it did back then. Yeah, Ben, we spent a lot of time together. If you know your history, there's kind of a famous story about me and Ben and a bunch of other founding fathers traveling from Philadelphia to Staten Island to go sign some papers. You remember.
That was a good weekend.
No, you don't remember. You were hammered.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
So the big story is that, like, the 2 of us, there was no room at the inn, so me and Ben had to share a bed together in one room at the inn. If you know your history, you know that story. They left out a big part of that story. We get to the inn, and Ben is like, "Hey, let's go pick up some chicks, let's go hit some bars in Staten Island, because you know you're a classy guy."
It's Staten Island.
Yeah. It's like I said, you invented chlamydia.
It's Staten Island.
So we go to the bar, Ben starts threatening people, starts yelling at everybody, we get thrown out. On the way back to the inn, there's like a little kid wandering the streets at night, probably an orphan.
For sure.
And then Ben looks at me with just no soul or compassion in your eyes. And you say, "I think I'm gonna fuck that kid." And I was like, "No, Ben, don't fuck that kid." And you're like, "No, I'm gonna fuck that kid." And so you went over and you punched him in the head. And you just started fucking that kid. You just started fucking him, you just kept yelling, "I'm God, nothing can kill me, I'm God." And then the person with reasonable, rational thought said, "Hey, why are you fucking that kid?" And then you gouged his eyes into the back of the skull.
I did. I really did.
And then you said, "Don't stop me, I'm trying to fuck this kid." And then you're like, "Hey, let's go back to that inn and fight about whether we keep the window open or closed."
He's got farted.
So that's what they left out of the story.
They should have put it back in.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I don't respect you. You're a monster of the modern age. And I don't understand why anyone should appreciate you at all. That's all I have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, President John Adams.
President John Adams!
First Vice President.
First Vice President, second President, inventor of mutton chops. Look it up! I don't need that! The room is the size of the inn that we stayed in that afterwards he fucked that kid. I
offensive thing that we had done. Apparently.
Sure now.
We surely outdid ourselves this time.
I think it's only fair then, Ryan.
Yes.
I think it's only fair that we give Ben Franklin a chance to tell us what he thinks of everything that happened. You guys want to hear that?
Ladies and gentlemen, the 6th President of Pennsylvania, Benjamin Franklin.
I don't even know. Let me put on my bifocals that I invented.
I'll slit your fucking throat.
Oh God, how's it going, everybody? Thank you. This has been great. Let's hear it for Amateur Hour at Shitfest. Oh my God. I'm really glad you guys are getting mileage out of this book report. My God, look at the two of you. Just like, you know what? As two young gay white men, we should figure out a way to celebrate the history that is other successful white men. So well done, I commend you. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I am the lead off the show, Transparent. I'm here to share some things with you. I would like to, first of all, let's hear it for all the comedians. You've heard us speaking. These young people are the voice of the future. And it was inspiring to listen to all of them list all the awesome shit I've done all my life. I am here for a loving tribute to the one and only. First of all, my only issue, fellas, we couldn't put one black female comedian on the show to entice Thomas Jefferson to come. Like, we could just put out a little bit of bait and then maybe book somebody a little better. Jesus Christ. Remember how your brother invented some kind of shitty beer, and now people give him way more of a shit about it? He's gonna be on money way before you do. Like, Boston secedes from the Union, like he's gonna be their guy, and you're gonna be that other dead guy. So, I'm just gonna run through the list then. A lot of you don't know any information about John Adams, and that's because he's shitty. He's just boring. I feel like the only fact we do know is that John Adams' family started when Uncle Fester farted, and we all became retarded. The John Adams family. And of course, in that, the we all is America as a whole. But a lot of people also don't know that John Adams was a big old queermo. I mean, look, there's a lot of famous beards in the history of the presidency, but the most famous is Abigail Adams. Oh my God. John, in a moment of pettiness, pitched trying to be on the $5 bill. We just assumed that was some young prostitute named William. Just the earnesty in your eyes, it was dick blind. Oh, look at that tricorner hat. Just shaking with so much rage. Oh, it's so sad to watch someone who doesn't matter so much fail so hard. Oh, God. John Adams was, of course, a famous lawyer before he became the second place president. I'm sorry, I meant to say rate. Second rate president. Because of the poor quality you did, not accomplishing anything. He actually was a lawyer, and he defended the British who gunned down innocent colonists during the Boston Massacre. He got up in front of a court of his peers and defended a bunch of evil murderers who murdered innocent people, and won. You couldn't phone that in, you petty prick. Like you had to win. That's how bad it had to be. Who didn't hug you? Guys, he mentioned before his mini-series on HBO. I mean, it's very good. Has anybody here seen it? I would say the percentage of people who have HBO Go in the room, that's a couple of the smaller minority got around to it. So there's some solace. There's your constituency. It was really fun to watch them put Hollywood pretty boy Paul Giamatti in the role of John Adams. Give their Hollywood touch. John Adams founded the Navy. That's a very impressive thing. all those guys in white bell bottoms just running through ports spreading chlamydia. I mean, I thought I had a good system, but you really made it professional, man. You were like, we need to spread American semen across this world. And Drunken Hayes said, I agree. And we fucked that globe together. That was a better joke than you guys gave it credit for. Just imagine two men who signed the Declaration of Independence double teaming a globe. There we go. Let's see. John Adams, when you became part of the head of the Senate as the vice president, you, of course, famously, we were trying to figure out what to call George Washington. I want to be gauche. What we should call him as president. We, of course, came up with Mr. President. You pushed for Your Majesty. Because that's not a little on the nose, a little ornamental. Also, was
Call respect.
Was Your Majesty seen as a little too black to be president? Look, I like that joke, but I'm from a different time, guys. Your Majesty's a hilarious thing. But John, the thing I think most about you is you, of course, were president. You did a great job. You, of course, had to deal with all of the fallout of the revolution, all the things that George didn't have to worry about. You, of course, had to sign the Alien and Sedition Act, which, it's really impressive. You were ahead of your time as far as presidents. You were taking rights away from Americans and pissing off the French before it was cool. John, do you understand how much work I had to do in Paris to stop pissing them off? Do you understand how much wine and how many whores I had to fuck to get them back on our side? John, by the end, my dick looked like George Washington's teeth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for these conferences.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Franklin, John Adams, we have Kyle Clark and Adam Moore. Give them a big round of applause, guys. Let's also hear for our comedians tonight, Mainard, Monique Madrid, Pedro Salinas. A big special thank you to the Nerdist School. Come check out all their great improv shows in their classes here. Also check out our sister theater, the Nerd Melt, right next door. You guys have been fantastic.
Thank you guys for coming. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. We got the shows on YouTube, SoundCloud. Everywhere. You cannot find us.
Guys, thank you so much for coming out. We're going to be back here in February. We'll see you then for Historical Roast. Teaching history. Awesome.